Hey, good morning. Let's go over today's trade plan. So in the overnight session, ES attempted a breakout above the recent 4-day balance and found responsive sellers at the 68 quarter to 69 quarter resistance area. And at this point, the market is trading very close to the top of the recent 4-day balance, which marks the initial support zone at 57.5 to 60. So off the open, if ES is holding above initial support, then we know that the breakout attempt is intact, and from there we can go higher into the 63.75 to 65.75 pre-market resistance zone. Taking that zone out would be a confirmation that buyers are really stepping in, and from there we can go back up to the overnight high at 68 quarter to 69 quarter, and then into the initial resistance zone at 74 quarter to 76 quarter, and then we have last week's high at 77.5, and that is still an area where responsive sellers can be active on first test, and it's still going to be valid resistance until broken. Now, in the event that ES fails to hold 57.5 to 60, then it is a red flag and it is a warning sign because it tells you that the overnight breakout attempt could be failing at that point. Below that, we still have valid support at 48 to 51, and that's really going to be key. That's the final spot where buyers can defend and technically still turn the market around and attempt another breakout above 57.5 to 60. But if 48 to 51 doesn't hold, now it's a confirmed failed breakout, and from there we can go down into 37.5 to 40.5 and even 31 to 34. So how the market reacts to 57.5 to 60 is really going to be a tell, and holding above it tells us that buyers are in firm control. Now, in order to have a sustained breakout and hold above 57.5 to 60, we are going to have to see some decent upside momentum in the market and broad market strength, with the other markets really participating in the move as well. And if we're not seeing that, then we need to be careful at the 57.5 to 60, but that is really the key spot short term that the market has to hold in order for the breakout to remain intact. So off the open, 57.5 to 60 is still a spot where buyers can be aggressively entering the market, but it's really going to be the aggressive buyers that are active at that zone. And again, if we're active there, then it means that the breakout's holding, and from there we can make our way back up to the overnight high, and then the final upside objective on the day time frame would be the 74 quarter to 76 quarter initial resistance, with possibly a tag of 77.5. Now beyond that, it's going to be another breakout attempt needed because that marks, as you can see, the balance that developed over here before the market went lower. So that's still going to be an area where the market can struggle on first attempt. We don't necessarily have to slice through it. We can balance a little bit over there, and then eventually we can still technically go higher, but that's something we'll have to assess in real time to just see the level of strength and momentum in the market. So those are really the main ideas. On the econ side, we have a couple of minor reports out at 9 a.m. Central Time. They're not really major market moving reports, but there could still be a little bit of very short-term volatility around them. And after that, we'll just have to see where ES is trading in relation to the 48 to 51 and 57.5 to 60. We'll see whether it's holding those areas or failing. Holding those areas means we can still technically go back up towards the overnight high and the initial resistance zone. If we fail at 48 to 51, then that would change the intraday bias, and at that point, like I said, we might even have to go down into 37.5 to 40.5 quite easily, and it's still valid support, but even 31 to 34 at that point would have potential to be tested after a failed breakout attempt. So those are the main thoughts heading into the open. Buy side still remains in control. Short-term bias is going to continue to be more bullish as long as we're holding above the initial support zone and above 48 to 51. So we'll just watch and see if buyers can really maintain this control and then push ES up to initial resistance and take it from there.